Hi, welcome to the video on how to decide if you should go to law school and how to prepare an irresistible application. I'm Dan, I'm a lawyer, and one of a number of advisors to students thinking about going to law school. Our group is called the Law School Gurus. I've helped many people get into law school. In this free video, I'll give you some suggestions about how to decide whether law school is for you, and if so, how to increase your chances of admission. If you're here, you're probably thinking about going to law school. I've known many people who shouldn't have made that decision. I know many unhappy lawyers. I know many people who have no idea what they're getting into, yet are totally convinced they should go to law school. That's a shame. Don't get me wrong, for the right person, law school is great. And if that is you, I want you to go to law school with your eyes wide open and a good game plan. If you want some suggestions for how to do that, you're watching the right video. Ask yourself honestly, why do you want to go to law school? There's lots of bad reasons to go to law school. Maybe your parents are pushing you. Maybe your motivation is that you think it will get you a more prestigious, better paying job. Maybe you are about to get a BA and you assume most people in your situation must go to law school. Sound familiar? The reality is that there are lots of things you can do other than law school. This is a crucial life moment. Your career lies ahead of you. Do you really want to walk the first few steps blindly, having no idea what you're doing? How much do you really know about what law school is like? Does it make sense to pursue a job when you have no clue what you'll be doing? It makes even less sense to spend tons of money and 3 years of your life on something that may not make you happy. To answer these critical questions, there are two things you can do right now. The first is to ask us for the short free ebook we've written. It'll give you a sense of what law school and law firm life is like. Second, I encourage you to look at your resume and pick out your major career interests that you might be able to pursue with a law degree. If you're not sure, don't worry about it. Write down any interest you can think of that could possibly jive with law. For example, if you're interested in movies or sports, write that down. A good way to think about whether law school is for you is to learn about the legal market. What kinds of legal jobs are out there that dovetail with your interests? Seems like common sense, right? Yet very few people do this before going to law school. If you do it, you'll be ahead of the game. Now, LinkedIn is a great way to take action. If you've heard of it, great. If you haven't, it's the world's most powerful professional networking tool. If you don't have an account, you can create one for free at www.linkedin.com. After some research into possible career paths, you may find a compelling reason to go to law school, or you may realize none of this sounds interesting to me, but you might learn about another possibility that interests you more. So, to do this, click on the Advanced Search tab at the top of your LinkedIn profile page. Now, look at the left-hand side of the page. Make sure that People, rather than Jobs, is highlighted. Then, uncheck the relationship boxes. This is so that your search is as broad as possible. Keywords and title are the two most important search fields for our purposes. In keywords, you can enter interests like human rights or criminal law. Start with this approach. In title, you can enter job titles to find lawyers who do work that might interest you. Use titles like counsel, associate, partner, or legal advisor. You can use the industry box to search for lawyers in specific industries. Remember, the point of this exercise is to read about lawyers' backgrounds and what they do. Many lawyers will describe in detail what they do on their LinkedIn profiles. If you want to go the extra mile, you can message them and tell them you're thinking about going to law school and want to know about their practice. Most people will be happy to talk to you. You may discover LinkedIn profiles of non-lawyers that look more interesting, and that's okay. It might be a sign that you shouldn't go to law school. Now, LinkedIn is not the only possible approach to doing this research. You can try Googling your areas of interest plus law. So, for example, you might Google entertainment plus law. Now, you should devote a lot of time to doing this. It's important. And if you are going to do it, you should be honest with yourself so that you can build a career consistent with your personality and your interests. The best lawyers I think it's important to know. Really plan ahead and have as solid an idea as possible what's going to happen next. Now, you may not want to go to law school after doing this exercise, in which case, great. I'm really happy I helped. Believe me, far fewer people are suited to law school in a legal career than there are lawyers. If you decide you do want to go to law school, you now have one or more compelling reasons to do so. Your application will be stronger as a result because I forced you to justify your decision. If you are eager to apply to law school, stay with this video. Now, if you are going to prepare a law school application, I'd like to make you aware of certain mistakes I see people making all the time. Then I'll give you some suggestions for what you should do. Maybe you've already started on your law school application, and if you have, I hope you haven't made these mistakes. The first one is, I see this all the time, people pretend to care about a humanitarian cause. If the cause you highlight in your sales pitch is not very important to you, you're going to have a tough time faking it. Admissions committees tend to see straight through this, so don't do it. Second, I see people selling themselves to law schools by claiming they have a career path in mind and law school is going to help with it. This isn't necessarily a problem, but you'd better be sure that the career path you're describing is realistic. Law school application committees will know if it is unrealistic. And of course, the best lawyers do their research, and you must show law school application committees that you possess the traits typical of the best lawyers. By the way, this includes perfect spelling and grammar, no mistakes, or the best law schools will toss your application straight into the garbage. Finally, I see people using exaggerated language about their interest in law. You've got to be grounded and realistic. If you're not sure law school is for you and you still want to apply, do not pretend that going to law school is what you've always dreamed of. This is the kind of fakery that admissions committees can see right through. Again, so don't do that either. So, what should you do? Plenty of research on the differences between law schools. You've got to align the compelling reason that you came up with through the reflective exercise, got to assign that compelling reason with the culture and the mission of each law school to determine fit. If the websites don't tell you enough, call up the admissions officers and ask them questions. Often, admissions officers will remember your call, and if they do, and you applied, they might view your application more favorably. If you can't shoehorn your compelling reason into a law school, think very carefully about whether you wish to apply. Finally, the personal statement is more important than you probably think it is for most law schools, not for all. Do not just assume because your grades and LSAT score are great that you will get in. There is no guarantee. Let me give you an example of this kind of thinking in action. Let's say that you've got a BA in International Relations. You've interned at the UN and you've done LinkedIn and Google research and determined that you might be interested in a career in public international law. Well, you'll find out that Berkeley and McGill are two law schools which have great classes in public international law. So, you speak with admissions officers at Berkeley and McGill as well as students and determine whether both schools are as great a fit as you think they are and whether there are specific ways you should sell your candidacy. So, does this approach make sense to you? If so, we may be able to advise you. You may want to apply for a free strategy session phone call where one of the law school gurus will ask you questions to get a sense of where you are and where you want to go. We can only handle a limited number of calls, so not everyone that applies will get a call. On this call, we'll also figure out whether you're a fit for our program. Now, our program is not for everyone. It requires deep honesty and the investment of a lot of time and energy. We will really get to know you. For the right people, though, it has delivered incredible results. We get people into law schools they think they have no chance of getting into. And by asking the right questions, we can suggest paths to people they may have never considered or introduce them to other lawyers that can help them. To apply for a call, click on the link in this slide and you'll be prompted to fill out a form. Provide us with detailed answers to the questions, and if we think there's a good chance we can help you, one of the gurus will be in touch very soon. Either way, Good luck with your law school decision. Bye.